Hello everybody, it's been such a long time. I thought I'd make a video. I think it's been about a year now, so it's time to do another one. It's still going pretty good. I've got the one pair of clowns in there. They're doing well. And obviously my BTAs are doing well. They do split on a regular basis, so what I do is once they move around and attach to the glass, I remove them and then go ahead and offer them to the local reefers in the area. I don't have any issues or problems selling them. There seems to be quite a bit of demand for them. Easy ones to keep anyways. All right, yeah, so this is the other side. Here's an end view. Like everybody, I've had lots of pests, I guess you call them, in this tank. I still battle them, you know, off and on. First thing is algae, the green hair algae. I've tried several products. This one here, Vibrant, does not work for me. I tried it for about a month or so, and I don't know, they just don't go away, the green hair algae. So what I've done, and maybe I've mentioned this in a past video, but I use Reflux. That works pretty well. That's one capsule per every 10 gallons. It does tend to come back though, the algae. I can't seem to completely get rid of them. So maybe every few months I redose and it takes care of most of them. But eventually it does come back. So, oh well. I tried to reduce the load, the nutrient load, and also try to keep the phosphates low. I'll show you what I do for that. Other pests I've had here, Aptasia. I tried the Aptasia X, that didn't work. So I went with Bergia nudibranchs. I put 3 of them in there. They did pretty good job. But there were a few left over, so I bought some peppermint shrimps and they took care of that, the rest of that. I have not seen Aptasia come back, so I think those two solutions worked out well. And then there were a lot of red cyano on the rocks. And you know, I tried reducing the nutrients, tried scrubbing them off, and they always came back. So I ended up using the standard ChemiClean, and that works out really good. So I think 2 treatments I did, and it's completely gone. It's probably been about 6 months since the last treatment, so looks good. I do still, like I said, have hair algae, and this is my wave maker in there. I have a pre-filter sponge around it so that the bubble tips don't get in there. But the hair algae tends to grow over time on the sponge, and so what I've done now, or what I do now, is remove that sponge and then move it to this side. It's kind of out of focus here, I don't know why. Yeah, I kind of put it right here with all the algae on it, and it's to provide food for the cleanup crew. Probably not snails, but my emerald crab. So I kind of leave it in there and provide food for the emerald crab. He's hiding somewhere in there. The other pest that I have is the vermetid snails. They seem to be very difficult to handle. So my approach is the crab and the, where can I find them? The bumblebee snails. Oh, here's one right here. I think between these two, I think they're taking care of it. It's slowly going away. So I'm kind of happy about that. Anyways, there it is. Yeah, going well. I try to keep the maintenance very simple. I know a lot of people buy media baskets and you know, they run protein skimmers, but I try to keep everything very simple and yeah, quick to maintain this tank. I maintain it every 2 weeks. I do 50% water change every 2 weeks and replace the filter media every 2 weeks. I don't have any sponges in here. All I have are these filter material. It's like a polyester sheet that I cut up from a bigger source, and I just use that as a filter medium, and I just replace that every 2 weeks. I had fiberfill, the polyfill. I don't use that anymore because I've noticed little bits of polyfill strings, you know, they kind of float around and end up in my return pump, and I think it clogs up that pump, and that increases the need to, you know, service that pump, and I didn't like that, so I moved to this, which works out pretty good actually. It's cheap. What I use is this. It's called the classic low loft batting. Get the low loft, not just the classic loft batting. The low loft has a denser weave, so that it catches more, you know, particulates. So that's what I use, and it works out pretty good. You know, just cut it in sheets and just fold it up and then stick it in there. You know, depending on your bio load, maybe you'll have to replace it, I don't know, once a week. I do every 2 weeks. Yeah, that's it. Also, to lower my phosphates, I don't have a reactor, so all I do is hang a bag with the GFO in it, and hopefully there's some flow that goes into the bag to allow the GFO to work. I also use these green phosphate removing pads that I cut up and stick in there to help reduce the phosphates. I haven't measured my phosphate lately, but it's probably like 0.1 parts per million. Yeah, let's see what else is new. Oh, I changed the location of my ATO sensor. I have the, really not in focus, ice cap ATO. Yeah, this is maybe 2 years old now. Works great, never failed. But I moved it to this section because when I had it in this section, what happens is that as the filter floss gets clogged, less water flows through it, which means the water level here starts dropping. And as that filter floss pad gets clogged or starts getting clogged, reduces the flow into this chamber, and the water level in this chamber drops more than this chamber. So eventually the water level basically over time starts to drop. And if you have, I noticed that if I had this over here, it would turn on as the water drops, you know, trying to raise the water in this chamber. And when it does that, the water level of your tank goes up, you know? So if you don't catch it, it's gonna overflow. So I moved it over here, and the water level is constant, you know, even though the water level in here and here drops. So I think this is a better place to put the ATO sensor so that it keeps the water level here constant, even though the water level here and here starts dropping. But it's not a problem when that happens. Yeah, so that's it. I'm still using all the same wave makers and ATO and the Inkbird temperature sensor monitor controller. Same setup for the lights. It's working out well. I've got the two Kessel A80 Tuna Blues there, directly on top of the hood. Provides enough illumination, I think, for the BTAs. One thing I noticed is that the difference in size of my clownfish, I think the female is much larger, but my male is still pretty small. Doesn't seem to be growing much anymore. but that's okay. All right, I think that's it. If you have any questions, leave them down below, and I will answer them as quickly as possible. All right, thank you for watching. Bye-bye.